Yeah, I did.
Thanks. Sorry, no, it took me.
My bad, dude. I just feel like I got some crap. Yeah, you're good. This is just off Spotify.
My second year currently.
Are we allowed to sit up here?
Yes, you are. Sit wherever you would like.
Okay.
No, these are not taken.
Okay. Like so the professors sit there?
Yeah, so these are our panel up here. Different
Okay.
people. So this is actually the panel right here. On it, so it's just different people. So 2 professors, 2 from the athletic department, and 1 current student.
Okay. I'll be in that.
There you go.
Okay. So you said you know some of the track guys?
Oh, just all of them. One of my best friends in the entire world. Morgan, I know very well. But my best friend,
Evan
is also there. But best friend, you know who Chris Shoelist is?
Yeah, Chris. Okay.
My boy. Yeah, he went to high school like 15 minutes away from me.
So Michigan.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Why.
That's right.
Yes, because that's where they're all from.
Yeah, that's how I know Morgan as well. And then Evan is Illinois. I travel actually. Yeah, small world. Evan and Chris and I, we all did a 2-week road trip across the U.S. We went to Oregon to go watch the track finals. down through
Did you
California.
do it this summer?
We did,
Oh,
yeah.
very
So and I saw Evan. He came to the. I had special tickets for the game, so I gave him tickets to the game. This past Saturday, I saw him. And,
Very cool.
this guy, yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's battling from injury right now. I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
injury,
did you see?
it went viral. Oh my God, it was
that
everywhere.
was insane.
It was everywhere.
The trainer like sent me this picture, and I'm like, what is going on?
Incredible. Oh, there were like
Yeah,
there were
a lot of
blogs
people.
everywhere. Like some were like
It's very cool.
feelings or like this kid's a hero. I mean, it was like
Yeah, he wasn't stopping.
no.
He wasn't stopping.
So he's just back to playing now. I know he came back. He's in grad school now.
Yeah.
And he just has 1 year of eligibility for outfit. So that's what he's doing. So we keep in touch a good amount. And I know it's just about
Morgan's the GA for compliance, so he's in town still. He's an intern. He's not taking classes.
Okay.
So he's down there at campus still. So if you want
he's
to
probably still
hang
running
out.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing a half marathon in a couple of weeks, and he's going to try to qualify for something. I don't know, but he's doing something in a few weeks.
Oh, that's
and so
awesome.
he's trying to qualify for the Olympics or
It
something
could be
coming
the
up
trials or
soon.
UNC
Yeah,
something
something
like that.
like that. So.
Interesting. Now, is his girlfriend? You know his girlfriend?
Yeah,
Does
Caroline.
does she work in?
Yeah, she does the ticket.
Gotcha. Okay, I met her once before. Super sweet girl, like, really cool. But I thought she worked in athletics. Does she go to school there as well, or is she just?
Nope, she's just full time in athletics. Yeah. I'm gonna turn my phone off. I'm like,
Yeah.
am I buzzing right now or am I beeping?
Fair enough.
Is it me?
Where would you like me to move if you had to have me one place? Does it matter like where I'm standing to talk? Is it okay if I'm over there, or would you rather me?
Go stand over there right now. I can't see you, so.
We're gonna sit together. We can scatter.
No, scatter. I mean, y'all can sit up here. But I'm only here just because I need to run this.
I
Yeah.
do not want to do that.
Yeah, I can. That's good.
Will you be turning it just to get these people as well? Or
Yeah, I'll probably turn it as they talk. I can't Zoom. It's
Hey, Ellen and Kid. You guys got a busy week this week?
Yeah, I think I'm busy until Phil December.
Okay. I know. We know how that is. Yep.
My wedding. It's a really soft man. It's partial. Yeah. No, that's. I'm gonna say. Oh my! I'll take all right. What's the? Oh, yeah. Are you from South Carolina? Why do you South Carolina? Unless you fancy your car. Hey, how are most capable one I've ever been You may have once or twice. Pure water. You guys are like out here. Like right now or something. You see a lot of people. No cold quarters down here. Yeah. That's hard for you to go down. I just your coffee before that. Four quarters. It's like say four quarters. Oh, I mean, she's been around for 57 years. Oh. I've been chatting. It's a great class. Yeah, like I showed up with like that's like he like well, yeah, I mean it's just Hello? But we have a lot of it. Not really.
Feel so distinguished up here with you guys.
That's what I was doing.
How are classes going? Good? Good? Or you want me to make some slight switches this semester?
It's such a big day, especially
Yeah. Right. That's good. Back to come here, right?
No, well, yes, they keep it better. Small friend.
Yeah. Avoid coming.
I'm assuming this is well known as some of the. How many people are online?
So just stare right out there. I mean,
10, 12,
Yeah.
200.
2,000 pounds.
how was your own
Seven.
day?
It was pleasant.
I like your shorts.
Did you? When I wearing my American flag was? Yeah. So they did church and hats.
like 45 minutes sleep.
Really?
2.5 hours for being exact.
Why not? Why so little?
iMovie. Yeah, I was working on a marketing project with Dr. Cooper's class. So
Did you win the project?
we don't know yet. On Thursday we'll figure out. So I sure hope so. I really, really hope so after putting that. It's 2.5 hours of sleep for a pizza party. So I must really like it.
He never got us.
I was gonna say, oh, they had 3.
Wait, really? No, tell me that. Don't tell me
It's
that.
not an answer you wanted to hear right now.
Well, I think it was like a we'll go out and lunch.
Really?
Our class did. Our class did. In fact, he took the whole class, though, not just the winning team. It was the whole class.
Yeah, you
But
can.
then again, that was like 6 years ago.
That much time to get to it.
We did it. Ours was like 2 hours of editing. They spent like 8.
That's like a Christmas Eve since when you were a big kid and you can't stop thinking about Christmas. So you can't Christmas. All right. Everyone all set? Ready to go? Cool. Okay, so first, my name is Ethan Levency. I'd like to welcome you all to the 2015 Sport Administration Grad Program Open House. Thank you all for coming. I know we have some people with us on the Google Hangout as well, so we'd like to welcome you all with us here, no matter where you're from. So thank you very much. We have a great panel with us here today. I want to urge you all to really take advantage of your time while you're here. Each one of these people will represent our program in some way, shape, or form, and I just want to urge you to ask questions, take notes, do whatever you need to do during this time. We'll give you plenty of time to ask questions during and as well as during the reception. So I know when I was here last year, or excuse me, when I was in the Google Hangout last year, this was very helpful to me when I was looking for my grad school. So I just wanted, like I said, I know I've said it a couple times, just really take advantage of this time. I know it's early on and probably your applications aren't due for a couple of months, but get the most out of this. So right now I'll quote, before we get started, Professor Osborne, who quoted Coach Larry Fedora, there's no such thing as a dumb question, just dumb people who don't ask questions. All right, so with saying that, I'll give the floor over to Professor Osborne, who will start us off.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Ethan. Can everyone hear? Okay. Welcome. We appreciate you being here. I am to talk about the admissions process and our program funding. Admissions, the application deadline is in January. We will start reviewing applications January 1. So getting your materials in, you don't have to get them in as soon as possible, but to try to get them in before January 1 rather than the last minute deadline is always encouraged. You do need to take the GRE. We don't accept scores for other programs like the GMAT or whatever. So you do need to take the GRE. If you have not taken that yet, schedule it as soon as you possibly can. If your scores don't look as good as you'd like them to look, schedule to take it again. Even if those second scores won't get to us until after the deadline, it's okay. They'll update as soon as the scores come in, okay? Any student who thinks that they might qualify for a merit scholarship based on their academic record, excellence in scores, and overall record should contact me immediately to talk about that process as well, because you'll need to get your materials in sooner, okay? The most important document in the admissions application is your personal statement. We need to hear why we need you in this program. Tell us what you bring. Tell us the unique things about you that make you the best fit for this program. Don't tell us how great we are, because we know how great we are. Okay? Tell us, so don't tell us, don't spend your time telling us what you're going to get from us. We know that. Tell us what we are going to benefit from by having you in this program. The next most important documents are your letters of recommendation. Ideally, get them from someone who really knows you and can speak to those personal characteristics and unique qualifications that make you you. Having somebody who's important or has a title is not nearly as important if they don't know you and they just sort of send a generic form type of letter. Okay. The entire faculty is incredibly vested in this program. We all review all of the applications, and we make the decisions on which candidates to invite to interview together. So about 15 applicants will be invited to campus for a weekend to interview. And from those 15, we will invite 9 to participate. So that's one of the ways that our program is incredibly unique, is that we only admit 9 students a year. Another unique and popular aspect of the program is the way we fund our graduate students. I don't think that there is another graduate program in the country that fully funds all of their students in the way that we do. Our graduate students have been fully funded with complete tuition remission since 1991. I cannot guarantee that in the future we will always have complete tuition remissions, because we are a state university and we are at the mercy of the state legislature for funding, and sometimes we don't find out until October what the budget is. But for the most part, and since 1991, we have been able to fully fund tuition remissions and provide health insurance for all of our graduate students. Students also are paid to work as teaching assistants, which you'll hear more about in their first year, and have been able to supplement their income with tutoring or monitoring study hall and things like that with the athletics program. So the only out-of-pocket expense for our graduate program is student fees, and you know, you're not going to make a ton of money while you're here, but you will leave graduate school with a degree from the University of North Carolina and at least graduate debt-free. So I will be happy to take questions at the end, and we're going to pass this along to Dr. Ariane Waite to talk about coursework and thesis.
Okay, if I stand up. Yeah. All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I am very proud of this program and feel very fortunate to be a part of it. One of the reasons that I feel grateful to be a part of the faculty is all of us have worked in college sport, and we're very passionate about what we teach and how we teach it. And it's a really neat experience having just the 9 students in our cohort around a table to discuss issues. So I'm talking about courses and thesis work. And the courses that you'll take in the first year are administration of intercollegiate athletics, law, facility and event management, and marketing. You'll take those all in the fall. And then in the spring semester, you take a couple of courses to get you ready for your thesis, research methods and statistics. And you also take governance and compliance and a finance and economics course. So that is the bulk of your load in terms of academic work in your first year. And then in your second year, you have the opportunity to come together as a cohort, even though you're very busy working in the athletic department. You come together once every 2 weeks with Mr. Bedore, our former athletic director, and discuss issues that are happening in your internship. And also, during your second year, you work on a thesis. And this is another element of our program that is somewhat unique. A lot of sport administration programs don't require a thesis anymore. And I really think that determines the type of students we get. This is not the easiest program in the country. In fact, it's probably one of the very hardest. We demand a lot from our students, but we also see the very best students that are the most well prepared at the end of the 2 years. The reason the thesis is so important is that it really sets you apart in that you become an expert in an area. You take your second year to pick a topic, to incorporate and digest all of the literature about that topic, everything that's been written, and then you advance it. You become the leader in that area that you study. And it can be a real selling point when you go to interview that you're an expert in that particular area. And it also is unique in that intercollegiate athletics is within the academy, and one of the rifts that often occur between athletic departments and faculty is that they can't speak the same language. But as you go through the thesis process and you become very adept at digesting research, you can present data to faculty in a way that is more compelling and conclusive, and you can go through empirical research with a knowledgeable background. So it's something that, again, will set you apart and distinguish you from those in the field. And this is a really tough field, so it's every little thing that we want to make sure you can get out of the experience, so you're in a position to get the job that you absolutely want when you're done. So I now will turn it over to one of our second year students, Jip Richards, who will be talking about LFIT and the second year internship.
Hello everybody, I'm Jip, second year in the sport administration program, and I'm going to talk about lifetime fitness and our internship process as well. So the first year you teach 3 LFIT lifetime fitness classes in the fall and 3 in the spring as well. Those classes are 50 minutes long, 2 days a week, and so you either have 2 Monday, Wednesday, 1 Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, or vice versa. And there's about 15 to 20 options you can choose from. For those of you who went to UNC undergrad, you know all about LFIT. And you typically get the class you want. You rate them before the semester based on what your experiences are in and what you most want to teach and that kind of thing. And Beck does a good job of kind of taking you in the right direction for those classes. So I personally taught racket sports, outdoor sports, and exercise conditioning both semesters. And I didn't have a ton of background in some of that, so you definitely have to do some research and that kind of thing. But it really is a valuable experience. Just being able to speak in front of a public group of 25, 30 college students teaches you a lot. Being able to act professionally, to really feel like you are a legitimate professor, because you are at that time. If they don't graduate from LFIT, if they don't get a credit for that, then they can't graduate from UNC. So it's pretty important. You definitely are valued, and it just helps getting out of your comfort zone. And I think it prepares you well for whatever you want to do next, whether it's any area in college athletics. I never had any major problems personally with it. There's probably been a few that had issues or whatnot, but there are definitely days where you don't want to go to teach every single day. But at the end of the day, it's definitely worth it for getting your tuition remission, for getting your stipend, and after the first year, you don't have to do it again, so that's great. But it's good experience, it really is, and it prepares you well for your next level, whatever that is. So the second year internship, that process for our first year is currently actually started last week with our speed dating exercise that they did. So that was in the Blue Zone last Monday. Basically, all the second year interns, as well as the intern supervisor in the athletic department, come and talk about the process for their internship. And then each of the first years goes around the room. There's about 12 to 15 different departments that are opportunities to intern in. And the first years go around and meet the intern supervisor, talk for about 5 minutes, and just kind of get a feel for what they're looking for in an intern, what the duties are, how it prepares them for working in college athletics, that type thing. And by the end of the day, you kind of have a better feel for which route you want to go. I know I personally didn't know exactly what route I want to go, still don't, but it definitely gives you a better understanding there. And then after that, the first years start contacting the second years about shadowing them in their internship and kind of just coming to work a football game or a basketball game or a coach's show or just seeing what we do on a day-to-day basis to see if that internship intrigues them, if that's what they want to do for the next year. So that's kind of October through December, you're doing that. And then in December, you start contacting the internship supervisors about interviewing with them, and usually interview for about 4 to 5 different internships in the athletic department, and that happens when you get back from Christmas break in January. And those usually 30 minutes, and there's it's a great teaching tool for your actual interviews that you'll do after you graduate from this program. I mean, there's typically 4 or 5 people in their department. They're asking you, a ton of questions, figuring out what you're all about and whether you'd be a good fit for them. And then that after that process, you start to. I'm just gonna go off the cuff. After that process, you start to rank your order of the internship, and then the internships rank the order of the people that interview with them. So basically, you put your top 4 to 5. Each department puts their top however many interview, and then the faculty kind of mutually matches up with the department, and we get that figured out. Typically, you get one of your top 2 choices, and I think pretty much everybody would agree that whichever one you get is an incredible experience. Even if you don't necessarily want to go in that field, you learn things that will be really valuable. Personally, I'm with Tar Heel Sports Properties, so we're with Learfield Sports. We do like the corporate sponsorship, multimedia rights. I had no idea what that was about when I came here. I went to Davidson College, and we did not have that side of things, so it's been a great experience. I'm still not sure if that's the route I want to go, but it really is. You feel like you're an intricate part of a really big organization, and they can't run as well without you. So it's not like you're just stuffing envelopes and sitting at a desk with no tasks. It really is really important. What we do is our second-year interns in the athletic department really values our work. So I'll be around if anybody has any questions. And next up, we have Ellen Keller, Assistant Director of Athletics.
Thank you, Chip. It's a pleasure to be here. Our relationship with this program, the athletic department, is an amazing thing, and it's something that, and for which we have great passion. And it's not just we're here to sell, as Professor Osborne said. We want this to be a mutually good fit where we give to you and you give back to us. Professor Osborne and I have been doing this an awfully long time, and it's something that I think there's great opportunity for growth on all ends. You can give back to us, we can learn from you, and hopefully we can teach you a fair amount as well. Our unit has the chance to begin to work with you more closely than other units in their first year. You look around the diversity of the folks in this room, first and second year grad students and some alums, that's what brings us a great deal of joy. You're going to come from big schools and little schools, and you may have been athletes and you may not have been. That's where you can give so much to us. In your very first month here with us, you're going to be bombarded. We're going to load you up. LFIT's going to load you up. The graduate program is going to load you up, and it's a lot of information to absorb. Once you get through those first few weeks of school, amongst your teaching and being in class, you'll also have the opportunity to work with us in operations settings, from football to Olympic sport events to whatever other special events we may have. As Professor Osborne will tell you, it's not just about being hands-on and running something, but it's what you can learn from observing. And there are trivial, almost mundane tasks that must be completed. But as you move up the food chain in the world of athletic administration, hopefully you remember what it was like to deal with an angry fan or a happy parent who's bringing their kid for the very first time to an event, and the smiles you get that way. Or it could be from an emergency. 2 years ago, we had an on-campus emergency during an NCAA event. It required us to think on our feet, which we did fairly well, but then there's the other side of it when ESPN may be blasting you on air for not handling it in the way that they thought was proper. We also, that'll be the entire year you're going to be exposed to, as I said, football, women's basketball, both soccer, lacrosse, any ACC championships we may do. We also host a lot of postseason events. That is somewhat unique to Carolina, and it is due to our success. We may have anywhere from, I don't know, 30 different events during the month of November with the overlap of football and men's basketball. You're not going to get that opportunity at every school. So we try to expose you to as much of that as possible. We also feel very responsible for getting first and second year grad students out there as much as possible. We want them to meet as many people in the athletic department, as many people from the conference office, as many people from other schools to provide you with networking opportunities. And it could be in professional settings, it could be in social settings, but as much as possible, we want you to meet as many people as you can. There's a great deal to be learned from the people in this department who have been around for a long time. I've taken every single intern I've had who now has the full-time position. So it's because we get to know y'all that we know from folks that are standing up behind you that we know what you've got inside, the commitment you may have, and every internship, as Jim said, is going to be different. And you may come in thinking, I'm absolutely going to do compliance, and you may end up saying, that is not the direction in which you want to go, or vice versa. And that's where the speed dating that Jim was talking about really comes in handy, because I watched it last week? Watched it last week, and eyes were opened about different opportunities. So we'll be excited come interview weekend to see some new faces. We've got folks that we're already working with this year who are trying to be as exposed as much as possible to what we're doing, and even some other groups within the department getting that volunteer experience. So we look forward to seeing y'all hopefully next February, and again, we'll be here to answer any questions afterwards. And I'll now turn it over to one of our graduates, Grant, who's working with the Rams Club.
Yes, thank you, E. As Ellen said, my name is Grant Leindecker, and I work for the Rams Club here at UNC. And the Rams Club is actually our fundraising arm for UNC Athletics. I am a graduate of the program, graduated in 2014, which feels like yesterday, but really isn't. Getting old. But I want to talk about our alumni network and mentorship opportunities. And I really think that this area is one of the greatest strengths of our program. And I think it starts with the strength of our alumni base. We have some really great people out doing some really great things all over the country. And they really stay plugged into this program and allow you as students to tap into them as a resource. And one of the things we've actually done is formalize the mentorship process to where as a student you will have an on-campus mentor and off-campus mentor, which is going to be kind of tailored to the interests that you have in the direction that you want to go as an administrator. So we have, whether your interest is compliance or fundraising or event operations, we have people all across the country doing really great things in those areas, and you're going to be able to be plugged in directly with them to learn from them, learn from their experience, be able to bounce ideas off of, and just kind of get advice on how to approach your career and make sure that you're doing everything you can to be successful going forward. And I think it's a tremendous resource that this program has, and it's really, really valuable to I know I took a lot of advantage of it, and hopefully you guys will as well. And the best thing is that they all want to be involved, they all want to help. And I'm one of those people that wants to give back to this program and help you all succeed and get to where we're all trying to go. And it's really what it takes in college athletics. It's really a small industry, and it always helps to know people and good places to learn from, but also to ask for help. And they're always willing to help you find a job or advise you however they can. So I think that our network is really strong, and their willingness to help and give back is huge, and something I'm proud of, and I think that our program really hangs their hat on.
Excellent. So that was our panel. Thank you everyone. So at this point, first of all, I want to say, we want to do, when we put our 5 panelists up here, we want to make sure we hit on the 5 most important things that we could think of. That doesn't mean that's everything, all right? Our program, you need to ask questions. Our program has so much more to offer, whether it be things we do in class, the opportunities we have out of class, like some of the conferences we can go to, some of the field trips we'll be going on to where we can meet people who are either alumni or people who are well connected with our program. There are so many other things besides what we mentioned during our panel session that you need to ask questions about, so we can kind of, you can see if this program is a fit for you, okay? So before we get into introductions, where we introduce our current first year, second years, and our professors, I'd like to open the floor for a Q&A session. So if you have a question for an in particular panelist, please go ahead and you can say your question to them. If you would just like to open it up to all of them, I'm sure they can kind of decide who the best person would be to answer that. So at this point, if you have a question, you can go ahead and raise your hand, state your name, and then we'll go from there. So does anyone have a question?
I have a question. My name is Carolyn, and I'm directed toward the admissions about the GRE. How long after, let's say I've taken the GRE in the past couple of years, how long will those scores take it?
GRE scores are good for 5 years from the time that you take it. Yeah. Yeah. Any Google Hangout questions?
Yeah.
I got a question for Rand. My name's Carson, by the way. How does the off-campus mentorship work?
So basically, you will kind of identify what area within college athletics you are interested in, you know, whether it be compliance or game operations. And they'll try to identify somebody, an alumni of our program that's in that area, and try and pair you up with them. So essentially, you're going to connect via phone, email, if they're ever in town, just however you can to be able to connect with them and gain insight on their experiences. So it could vary depending on where they're at and how accessible they are in terms of being able to come to campus. But we do have people come back to campus quite a bit when they're around. I mean, with so many universities in this area, people travel here, whether they're playing Duke or State or us. So people try to swing by whenever they're around. So it just depends, but try and pair you up with somebody that identifies with your interests.
There's great opportunity. Dr. Wade and I had a good chance to visit with a class 2 years ago, garage class. They came back for a reunion. It wasn't sponsored by anything. The entire class came back. You're going to spend a lot of time with these folks, but they made a point of getting back together. And then we had one of my current staff members was married this summer. His entire class came back. It's neat stuff. I mean, it's an incredible opportunity. So I know that I've spoken, Carson, with some of our former alums, and they love this mentoring opportunity. They'll spend 2 hours on the phone with somebody, so it's a real asset.
And the alumni network is amazing. We have conference commissioners, athletic directors, and everything in between. And so it's really, really high up people that you may be paired with. So it's an amazing thing, and it really is a family, which is wonderful. I've been here for 5 years, and I feel like I was adopted into the family, and now we're growing the family, and it's just really, really neat to see that.
Any other questions? So if there are any other questions, we will, during our reception time, you will all have, it'll be more of a personal setting where you will have opportunities to kind of converse with all of us here, whether it's one of the panelists, one of the first years, anyone else, so take advantage of that time as well. So at this point, before we come to our conclusion and go to our reception, if I could bring all the first years up here as well as Dr. Nels Pop, so we could all introduce us. If we could, what we'll do is we'll say our names, where we went to undergrad, and then maybe what we're interested in for our future for either our internships or past internships. So if we could have, yeah, I'll come over here. So I'll start and then we'll go this way. So first of all, my name is Ethan Levency. I think you're emceeing tonight. I went to Central Michigan University, and I'm interested in either event management or administration.
Hi, I'm Leah Zagorin. I went here undergrad, and I'm interested in fundraising.
Hi, I'm Emily McCollum. Sorry, it's weird to say I just got married this weekend. I know they've been listening to me. From Warren, Ohio, went to school at Clarion University of Pennsylvania, and I'm currently interested in event management or facility management.
Hi everyone, my name is Colin Gay. I graduated from the University of Maine. I'm from Kansas City. I'm interested in revenue generation.
Hi everybody, I'm Josh Isom. I'm from Valdosta, Georgia. I did my undergrad at the University of Georgia, and I'm interested in the business and budgeting side of college athletics.
Hi, I'm Allie Macione. I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I did my undergrad here. I'm interested in both event management and development.
Hi, I'm Rachel Lee. I went to Rutgers University for undergrad. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm interested in student athlete development or administration.
Hi, I'm Shanann Featherstone. I'm from Rockaway Park, New York. I did my undergrad here at UNC, and I'm interested in legal affairs at universities for a leadership role, senior women leadership role.
My name is Drew Reed. I'm from Woodstock, Georgia, and interested in marketing at college athletics.
And with us also today is Dr. Nels Pop. You'll see over there. He leads our facility and event management class. So if you have any questions for him as well, he'll be a viable asset. So
we have some second years.
Oh, second years. I'm so sorry. We have some second years as well on the back. So if you want to, Charlie, if you'd like to start.
Come on.
Come up.
Yeah. We'll have a group picture up there.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen, there's no picture, right? I'm Charlie Herzog, second year grad student, like they said. I'm originally from New Orleans, did my undergrad at the University of Miami, and I'm currently interning in the business office.
I'm Alex Rankin from Hillsborough, North Carolina. I went to Tulane University for undergrad, and I'm currently interning with the Rams Club.
And I'm Mark Trevane from Greenville, North Carolina. I went to Barton College for undergrad, and I'm with Alex in the Rams Club.
All right. So before we go over to our reception area, thank you all for attending. Feel free to stay as long as you'd like. I think we're shutting down at around, do we have time? 7:55 to 8. So please help yourself to all the refreshments that we brought. Looking forward to talking with you all, and thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.